Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jak 2 Renegade on the Sony PlayStation 3. I am One Wild Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be continuing onwards with the rest of Mars Tomb. More platforming aplenty is on the way in this part. And we're also going to be taking on another of what I consider to be one of the hardest levels in the game. Like, I know something with this game, all the hardest levels tend to be grouped up together, you know, I don't know, I digress. But yeah, I always love my platforming, and this game has got plenty of it, which makes me a happy puppy. You didn't see that. But seriously, I love my platformers, always have, always will. Like, if you people know my channel by now or subscribe to it for a while, the main focus of my channel has been basically platformers. And every now and then I will do other games that aren't platformers, but they're still the main focus, you know. They're the game genre I play the most, they're the game genre I enjoy the most, and it's the game genre I really want to cover the most, and it's mainly because all the games I want to cover are platformers, essentially. With the exception of, like, maybe the Halo series and a couple of other action games, which I'll get to at some point in the future. I don't want to spoil my plans too much. Although, the people who are following me on Twitter should already know my plans for the future LPs, because, well, I recently released a list of my upcoming LPs, you know. So, yeah, there's that. But anyway, this by here, ladies and gentlemen, is what I consider very annoying, because what you have to do by here is grab onto these grabby poles and spin your way across them, right? And that's fairly simple, sort of, you know, it's a fairly simple way of doing things. However, there's one very specific grabby pole in this sequence that I really do not like. This grabby pole right here, this one here. When you try to jump on it, as you can see, for some reason Jak decides to do a complete 180 and, oh, look at me, I'm facing the wrong direction. So it can be a bit finicky to just jump on this, you know. Of course, it does have, this mission also has these in and out platforms that how much of a platformer trope are these things, actually? I think they basically appeared in every platform game ever that's had 3D. I could be wrong, but I'm convinced they are. Like, Sonic has them, Mario has them. I digress. Anyway, with that, that's the second laser opening up the gates, so now it's time for a boss fight, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as soon as we get to it, you know. I'm kind of happy the lights didn't really freak out like they did last time we put the laser, because testosterone! Well, of course we have lots of that. We're playing an adult game for manly men, of course. But I still got freaked out when the lights went off in the last part. That was just creepy as hell.
Daxter, there you are. What happened to you?
I had a harrowing experience. No thanks to you.
Welcome, young warrior. Many eons have passed since our hope burned so brightly. Today, you have proven yourself worthy to receive Mars' legacy.
He's talking about me. Thanks, your holy statueness. This tomb wasn't so tough.
What you are about to receive contains grave power, and with it comes grave responsibility. Eons ago, the Precursors waged a terrible war with the Horoquan, those dark creatures you refer to as Metalheads. Driven by their dark leader, the Metalhead Legions destroyed our great civilization, and now they swarm the universe unopposed, looking for the last relics of our power. Ma tried to hide the Precursor Stone in this tomb to protect it from them. It is our last hope, and you were chosen to keep that hope alive.
I think you got me confused with someone else. I just want the stone.
It is time to fulfill your destiny. Behold.
Wow! Let's get the goods.
Fools! You brought me right to the stone. Your pitiful underground friends were no match for my guards above. Now I will gain the power I need to crush my enemies. And after claiming the stone, I'll begin with you.
Abomination. The Precursor Stone was not meant for you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another Dr. Eggman-style mech boss fight. And to start things off, what he's going to do is he's going to spawn these electrical robots at you. What you're going to want to do is grab hold of your scattergun and take them out as much as you can. Do not punch these guys, because what will happen is they're all electrified, so if you punch them, you will take damage. It's not cool. Now, every time after you beat those enemies, what he will end up doing is he will shoot out these bombs. So what you need to do is essentially kick the bombs right back at his face and kick him from the correct angle, otherwise the bombs will scatter off in a completely opposite direction. And they can be pretty tricky to deal with, you know. This boss fight can be a tricky one. It took me about 2 attempts. So yeah, just continue rinsing and repeating the pattern. Now obviously his pattern will change slightly whenever you get a certain point of his damage done, because as you can tell, well, he has 3 health bars, 3 phases, just like the first boss fight in the game. And all 3 boss fights, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure there's 3, go with that sort of 3 pattern mentality. You know, you have to take down 3 patterns of these guys, and I don't mind it. 3 is a magic number. I mean, Nintendo's worked this out years ago when their games, for example, in Mario 64, 3 Bowser boss fights, and on the final Bowser boss fight, there's 3 hits to kill him, you know? But I digress. Just continue rinsing and repeating what happens. Whenever you reach the second phase of the fight, what will happen is he'll occasionally jump down and shoot gunfire at you, and it's easy enough to dodge, just jump over it. However, when we're on the 3rd phase of this boss fight, things will change quite a bit, because he will basically he'll float around the arena with his precursor stone that he just stole off the giant statue of Ma behind us. And he will occasionally try to shoot you almost all the time, and he will try to hit you with a giant laser blast from the precursor stone. I believe that precursor stone will knock out bits of the platform if you leave it shoot the platform. So I'm guessing this is sort of like a timed... It's like a timed battle. If you take too long, the stone will destroy all the area and you will lose. I could be wrong with that, because honestly I've never been in this boss fight so long that everything gets destroyed. I'm just assuming that all the platforms will blow up in a certain amount of time. But he will occasionally set out all these mines and stuff that give you the opportunity to kick him and kill him. So just continue kicking them back at him and he's done and dusted.
No way! I can't believe this!
Nice try, but the stone is still mine. Don't worry, I will use the stone to its full potential. Soon all who oppose me will be destroyed by its power.
No, don't take the Master Emerald. Wait. Precursor Stone? No. Angel Island's gonna fall. Seriously, I draw so many Sonic parallels from the Baron and his boss fights. It's insane. But anyway, now with that very poor pun that the trophy just came up with, we're gonna head on back to the city and start focusing on our next series of missions. So yay. Fun. So trophy not in hand, it's just continuing moving. See, it's still annoying when the thing we come down here for gets taken right out from under us. Now I know what villains feel like in the games when the good guy just happens to win the game just by pure luck. You know, it happens occasionally, but I digress. Anyway, it's time to head back to Torn, I believe, where we can actually get hold of the next mission, which, as I said previously, the next mission of this game is a tricksy one. It is one of the hardest in the game, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm not, though.
How did the Baron know we were so close to making a move for the stone?
It's my fault. The Baron threatened to kill Ashlyn for spying. His own daughter. I couldn't risk that, even for the underground.
Right. Very good thinking. Except Praxis has the precursor stone now, so he can do whatever he wants!
There is still a way to get our friends back. And maybe the precursor stone as well. I'll find Vin. Go to the fortress and we'll call you.
And why should we trust you?
Because you and I both know the Baron would have killed Ashlyn. It'll be a tough fight through the fortress. Probably suicide.
You just get that door open. I'll be there.
And when he says probably suicide, he is not joking. Oh my god. Oh my good god. This upcoming mission is so difficult. You have to kill tons of mooks. You got loads of the new super Crimson Guards that have popped up since after the Hellcat mission, because as you notice, there's Crimson Guards running about that aren't crimson, they're yellowish. They're super Crimson Guards, as I like to call them, and as you can tell by the golden colour, the yellow colour. And essentially what I need to worry about with those guys is they take more shots to kill, really. That's the main difference. But if you can tell, the tank from before is no longer here, and the way we had to go previously, we can't go anymore. So now, instead, we go to this direction. Now this direction has loads of enemies behind this gate, and when I say this is one of the hardest missions in the game, this is one of the hardest missions in the game. All these enemies, because they're Crimson Guard mooks, they do not drop Dark Eco when you kill them. And they're all hiding around corners. And trust me when I say, you're going to get swarmed, because it might look quite simple right now, you know, it looks like it's simple. Oh, you just turn around the corner and shoot, don't you? Oh, wait until a few seconds in. A few seconds. There we go. See all those mooks there? Every single one of those mooks coming through that door. Until you go past that doorway, they will respawn infinitely, ladies and gentlemen. They will infinitely respawn, so you need to keep moving on. You need to keep pushing these buttons in order to progress further, and of course, if you get hit enough times, you're gonna die. And seriously, this mission is exceptionally difficult. I've always had issues going through this mission, so just a word to the wise, good luck. That's all I can say, good luck. I think I was on this for way longer than I care to admit. But one thing I do recommend using is if you jump and press the circle when doing do the spin attack, if you push the shoot button at the same time, you'll do this barrage of bullets, and this is a good way to clear out the enemies in the area. We also, well, we're kind of introduced to a new Crimson Guard type as well, in the form of the flying mooks. Now the flying Crimson Guards, they're not that hard to deal with, but they are a bit awkward, because if you remember the flying metalheads previously that we fought, what basically happens is they have the same sort of mechanics. They'll fly about, they'll occasionally shoot you, and when you go to shoot them, they'll either try to dodge you, or they will... well, they'll try to dodge you, or else they'll try to... well, they won't... or when you hit them, they'll recoil back a mile away. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go. But what I recommend by here is going the reckless route. Just wing it. Just run as fast as you can through that doorway. Otherwise, good luck, because the enemies will continuously respawn. And of course, you need to be careful here as well, because it's got all these turrets. Obviously, like the turrets previously that we saw way back early on in the game. If you touch the red laser, oh, you're going to die. So, yeah, this is where the difficulty gets a bit tricksy, you know? And the music for this mission by here, I have to be honest, it reminds me so much of Crash Bandicoot. Like, it reminds me of the first Crash Bandicoot when you're going through Cortex's Fortress, one of those missions. It has that sort of same bass line, bum 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 bum, you know? I don't know if you can hear the music from... I don't know if you can hear the music over my voice personally, because, well, it all depends. If you're wearing headphones like I always do, you'll be able to hear the game music just fine, but if you're through a TV, you may not be able to hear the game audio, so you might be wondering what I'm commenting on. So sorry about that if you're not wearing headphones and you can't hear, but I don't know, I always just get a Crash Bandicoot vibe from some of the music. And even in Jak and Daxter 1, I don't remember if I mentioned this during my LP of that game, but even in Jak and Daxter 1, some of the soundtrack is very Crash Bandicoot-esque, you know. This series does very much feel like a spiritual successor to the Crash franchise, only with more guns, and I can't really say more difficulty because Crash Bandicoot 1 was insanely difficult a game. Like, you wouldn't believe how difficult a game Crash Bandicoot 1 was, you know? And if none of you people played Crash Bandicoot 1, go to your way to try it out, you know? Go on the PlayStation Network or something, try it out on the PS3, because it's such a good game. I love it. But I digress.
The Metalhead Masher has saved the day. Oh, and I let Jack tag along too.
Oh, my little hero.
Samos, are you alright?
What took you so long? I added 6 rings to my trunk waiting for you two to get me out of here. Great yakkow horns! What happened to you, Jack?
Wait a minute! You're you! I mean the other you. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yes, it appears I have an older time twin. Great grass grubs. I can't believe what a cranky old log I've become.
Two Samos the Sages. Ah, Jack, they're multiplying.
We need to find the kid pronto. What are you talking about, old growth? The kid already opened the tomb. Our top priority should be to disrupt the Baron's forces. Oh, look who thinks they've sprouted. If you were half as wise as I am, you'd know that the proper course of action is to find the kid. Listen, you old dried-up leaf. I run this outfit, and I say we go after the Baron's forces.
Do we have to separate you two?
Vin's activating the warp gate. We need to get out of here now.
Oh, I love how old Samos and young Samos basically just argue. It's pretty accurate to what you expect, really, isn't it? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people, and when we return next time, we'll be continuing onwards with the story. And hopefully taking on the Baron and trying to stop him with that precursor stone that could potentially destroy the universe as we know it. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating that a tad, but it's a powerful thing. We need to get it back. Otherwise, Angel Island will fall, Dr. Eggman will be off, and he'll be victorious, and Sonic the Hedgehog won't be able to save the day. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be stupid. I'll catch you all next time. Bye!